This is the time, this is the place, and this is FC3 Monkey Business, your one-stop shop for everything geeky. And since everything is geeky, if you love it enough, you never know what you're going to get. Well, you're about to find out, because this is your host, IMC. This week, we continue our Halloween month of everything that goes bump in the night by looking at horror movies. We have a special guest in the studio to help us explore this genre, Angela Spetts, otherwise known as Slay West. After that, and there's a story behind that, I'll tell you later. After that, stick around for our upcoming events and our question of the week. Billy.
Yes.
We have full house today.
Yes, we do.
Everybody has come out of the woodwork. We have you. You're here.
I'm here.
I can see that.
Sort of.
He's out of the library.
He's out of the library.
Yeah.
Tanya and I rescued you from the library the other day at the Great Escape Room of Rochester.
Thank you.
You were supposed to wait and go with me.
You
guys suck. I don't like you guys. I'm done. You're dead to me.
No, we decided that
We're
we
saving
need
the bunker.
for everybody.
bunker's
It was a spur of the moment thing.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
antsy
yeah.
and things like that. So
Chris was emo, so Tanya decided to get him out of the house. It was one of those things.
yes, so. And you know, I don't think in regards to the library, you can't put that many people.
I don't think so.
in
No,
there.
the library was a very small room. It would have been hard to put a
It
whole
was
lot
like
of people
half
in
the
it.
size of the studio.
Doesn't it have like a limit of like 4 or 6 or something like that?
No, they've had like 11 people
Really?
In the
there.
library.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
When I was there, it was a pretty big crowd.
Yes.
and it would have been too much for.
But we pulled it off, and I'll tell you, when it comes to Great Escape Rooms, I love rooms like that. They're very exciting, but I also know that there comes a time, like about 2/3 of the way through, where I go into vapor lock, and I become completely useless. But Tiny kept me going, and before I knew it, we came in with what was
2 minutes,
2 minutes
and like
to spare?
15 seconds to
So
spare.
we pulled it off.
So it was just
We did
you
it.
two when you figured it
Yeah.
out? And you found all the pieces?
We found
We
all
did
the
not
well, you
find
didn't-
all the-
I
the
actually
clues.
I solved the
yellow
first puzzle
puzzle.
with 2/3 of the clues just because I saw the rhythm of it, and I was like, oh, and then it all came, and then boom, I had the and we finished the
red
puzzle
one without all the puzzle pieces
with about
because
3/4 of the pieces.
I was able to figure out and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh.
there was a word grid, and she's like, OCD about stuff like that. So
And then I went
I
running
think that's
across
what-
the room, and Chris
we
was like,
saved our-
hey!
Yeah, we saved ourselves about 15 minutes on that one because
good.
we just got lucky on a couple of them, because there was a couple of them we needed. We found all the magnifying glasses to get the helpful hints, and,
Yes.
and we blew all of them. We were like,
But it was
"Please help
funny
us."
because we had gone and looked at something in regards to one of the clues. Both of us had looked at it and never touched it.
Yes.
Never touched a couple things in regards to clues. Or he had found he had looked at something, and I'm like, oh, here. And I had flipped over something else. He goes, where'd you find that? I'm like, on the wall. He goes, I was just over there. So it's just a matter of.
We also found a couple of clues to puzzles we'd already solved. That was fun.
Yes, like after the fact.
Yes, after the fact. So
But
anyway,
we decided for the bunker, all hands on deck.
yeah, for the bunker,
because
we're bringing
that's
everybody.
the new one.
Yes.
That's the new one. So
So the bottom line is, Billy, you have been rescued after a long stay in the library at the game room of
Yay.
the Great Escape
and
Room of Rochester.
my issue was I was just so gentle with everything, and I forgot that you could just basically trash it as long as you didn't break it.
Yeah, we kept,
and I kept putting things
the
back.
kid who was in the room with us was coming and goes, you guys can really, you can go through the room. We kept putting things back the way we found them and stuff like that. We're like, we didn't want to
I
make
think
a
it was
mess.
the English majors in both of
Oh,
us
I'm
that
telling
were
you,
reading the
seriously.
books very gently.
Finally,
and
we went Led Zeppelin on the place, and that's when we
I'm
started
just
solving
like,
puzzles.
I'm like, oh, okay. And there's a typewriter in there, and I was like, just so gentle because it's so old. And I'm
Yeah.
just like,
No, we flipped that sucker over. I ripped it right open and found the clue. I'm like, okay, good. Next. I almost wanted to throw it over my shoulder, but it was heavy.
so yeah. But
So, yeah, Billy, Tanya is here, and producer Sherry's in the room. Hi, producer Sherry.
who's mad at us now?
She's mad at us because we left her, but I'm telling you.
Sad.
You
The
shouldn't
bunker.
be sad.
Yeah.
The bunker's going to be all you, honey. I promise. I absolutely promise.
Yeah.
And wherever Sherry is, there is
Monks.
a bouncing baby monk in the room. Come on, say hi, baby.
Hello.
There she is. Hello. We also have intern Tony, who's not intern. Staffer Tony's here.
I'm back.
How's school going, brother?
It's there.
Now, you're in what year at RIT now?
Third year. I'm looking for a co-op, so if anyone wants to hire a computer engineer, hit me up, please.
Okay.
I need a job.
I think they're looking for a producer next door.
Get used to...
No, they actually found one.
They
Did
found
they?
one?
Yeah.
I would not curse Tony with working
No.
for that particular show. I like Tony.
Hey,
despite the number of
everyone's
times
gotta
I've fired
get
him
wet
over
somewhere.
the years. Yeah, I know. And last but certainly absolutely not least, from the actual MMC crew is Anne Liebeck, the most wonderful person on the planet.
Master of time, space, and dimension.
Mistress of time, space, and dimension. Absolutely. Hey, Anne, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You got to get right up on that microphone, honey.
I think she's cold.
She's a little chilly, but she's also a little shy. See, I want to take a moment to say something.
come on, you who got me into that tap class, you better put your mouth right up onto that microphone and start talking,
no, don't say it like that. Not in this studio. Not in this studio. That's just not right.
Close to it. Close to it.
Let's just say close, not on. But, Ann, I want to give you tribute at the moment because we have the original 5 executive board of directors. There's Tanya, myself, there's Dan, there's Brian, there's Deanna. And we've been at this for a good 4 years now, and we're exhausted. And we've got a lot of things going on, and we have not paid as much attention to the operations as we should have in recent months. And Ann, who has become basically the chief of the boat, if we use the Navy references, has stepped up, and she is dragging us kicking and screaming to success. And this woman has been amazing. So I want to say publicly and openly that, Ann, you are priceless.
Well, thank you. But we have a really good team.
We do have a great
to her,
team.
She's bossy.
And bossy.
You know what?
We needed
that. You know, I told her, I said, she's the kind of personality that has her eyes on the prize at all times. She sees the vision of what we're trying to put together in the company. She's got the company's best interests at heart. You know, she doesn't have an agenda. She has an agenda that is to promote the company, you know, but she's not doing it for herself. She's doing it because she's part of the family. And so for that, I am truly, truly publicly, openly, and I will say it over and over again, grateful for that. And Sherry wants to add something.
And it's really easy to praise Ann because she is amazing. She is right here, but let's not forget the other junior board members.
Absolutely.
Let's not forget Laura.
Laura is also equally amazing and driven.
And Chris, who is not with us at the moment.
How's he feeling?
It was another bad night with the insomnia.
We're sending some good juju his way.
Yeah. So
we have a lot of great people on the team, and they all have had their moments to shine. I mean, all the original gang, we've done our bit for King and Country, and we're going to get ourselves back on the saddle as quickly as possible so we can really drive this thing forward. But everybody who has come on board in the past year or so, you know, Ann and Laura and yourself and Chris and even, you know, the bouncing baby monk back here, you know, it's just as the mascot, you know.
It gets to the point where I can't keep up on the messages.
I can't, you know, it's great.
It's like,
you know, and then we've got some great, we have these wonderful interns who have this such energy and wit and charm, and, you know, we got Becca and Tony and Emily and Kelsey, and it's just, you know, we've got Sybil. Oh, not a chance.
Sybil's not an intern, though.
My favorite baby sister. She is our front office goddess.
Yes, she is.
Sybil. And, you know, there's just so many good people that are part of the family, and that makes me really, really makes me feel better. You know, when I know I've dropped the ball, I know somebody's there to bounce it off of my head. Okay, so anyway, we're going to get running. We're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to be talking about horror movies.
I think I'm leaving. Someone else can have my spot. I don't like horror movies. Thank you, Mom.
Horror is an ancient art form. For as long as humans have told stories, we have shared tales that make our spines tingle and our blood run cold. From the cautionary tales of earliest man to the urban myths that still fascinate us today, audiences willingly give themselves up for the thrill of a well-told tale of horror, knowing that what is to come. Theories vary as to why we do this. Do we get basic thrills from triggering the rush of adrenaline which fear brings, or do horror stories serve a wider moral purpose, reinforcing the rules and taboos of our society and showing fate of those who do not follow them? Horror movies have long served both purposes. They deliver thrills by the hearse load. That's cute. Hearse load, huh? As well as exploring the dark, forbidden side of life and death. Cautionary tales of fairy tales for grown-ups. They also provide a compelling mirror image of the anxieties of their time. As we say on the show, everything is geeky if you love it enough. Horror movies are no different. Our guest today is Angela Spetts. She has spent most of her life as a devotee of horror movie genre, in addition to a career in sports medicine and being a damn fine roller derby player, a.k.a. Slay West. See, I told you there was a story there. She knows more about horror than anyone we know and has agreed to help us navigate through the labyrinthine?
Okay, so I threw one word in.
Holy Moses, there's a 50-center.
Yeah, I love that word.
The labyrinthine topic, which is the horror genre. Angela, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Now, are you local to Sherry in the Syracuse area?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Utica.
Utica Club is probably the least favorite creation ever on the face of the planet. But anyway, you make up for that. So,
it does have its devotees, and Utica Club makes Saranac.
Oh, okay. So it's a redemption.
Yes.
It's a redemption.
Yeah. Someone's
and really good soda.
Yes.
Now, Utica is also well known for a variety of other things. Utica Con. Mm-hmm. Okay, is a good little show over there. Mm-hmm. So our friends to Utica Con. Yo, what's up? When is that anyway, Utica Con? Is that usually
I think it
spring?
just happened,
Did
right?
it just
Yeah,
happen?
it just happened.
I was going to say, that was on the calendar. I remember it coming up.
Uticon was recently.
Uticon.
Uticon.
Uticon. Utaman, Uticon. I get it. Got it. All right.
Who's conning who?
Angela, I'm not sure if Sherry warned you on the trip to Rochester this morning, but this particular show is 1 part good intention, 2 parts what the hell just happened.
Okay. I didn't get that specific.
And
3 parts got derailed at the station.
and 4 parts squirrel. Hi there.
I don't think she was that specific, but I got it.
I just met you and I love you. Anyway. All right. So, okay. Horror movies. And there was something in the write-up that caught my attention right off the bat. There it is.
Okay, I'm done.
Oh. See, here's the thing.
He's playing music.
Okay.
When we talk horror movies, I mean, we've done, in recent weeks, we've talked about the original Dracula, the original Frankenstein, the original The Wolfman, and how it was thriller and tension and suspense and that eerie quality. And then horror movies seem to have kind of evolved, at least in my opinion. They have evolved into just how much blood and crap can you throw at the screen and how, shock.
Oh my, gore fest.
Gore, shock, instant kill, things like that. It's like, doesn't appeal to me. Now,
But,
okay.
I mean, maybe like the mainstream movies that everyone hears about are like that, like now. But I mean, there's definitely still the same types of movies that echo back to like the Hammer horror and stuff like that. Although I honestly have not seen any Hammer horror movies. I'm a little behind there.
Now, when you say Hammer horror, I'm not exactly sure what that term.
Yeah.
It's a British film company.
Oh, okay.
It's like Dracula and
so,
Frankenstein.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Was that the movies that we've just done in the past 3 weeks?
No,
Or
those
those
were Universal.
Yeah,
Universal.
they
Those were
both
sort
they
of
had like their
British
own. Yeah.
versions.
Okay.
So they all had like their own little
Yeah,
thing.
there's lots of genres of horror. The ones that most people think of when they think horror nowadays are the slash and splatter horror.
Yeah. Nightmare on Elm Street,
like
Halloween,
Saw.
Yeah.
Saw.
The Saw falls under like the torture porn genre.
Yeah,
like
body
Hostel
horror.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
My
like,
body
what
horror
the
is even
hell?
different. That's like Cronenberg.
Yeah.
So,
What would the Nun fall under?
I don't know. I actually saw that, even though I didn't really want to, and I didn't think it was that great because I'm a snob. But I mean, it was just like I don't know. It was like jump scares, probably like Ghost Story. I'm listening to another podcast called Evolution of Horror. That's a British, and he's like hitting up all the different subgenres and going like chronologically. So I'm behind, but I'm in the ghost section now.
I really enjoyed like A Quiet Place. That was a fun movie.
Is that the one with Kaczynski
Yeah.
and Emily Blunt?
And it's almost done entirely with in sign language,
Right.
And the silent throughout the most of the movie.
And I heard that was that wasn't a slasher per se.
No, it was not.
I mean, did it have its moments?
Oh yeah, I was seeing it with friends, and at points in the theater you could hear a pin drop, and if you heard that pin drop, everybody would shriek.
That was filmed near Sherry and I in Little Falls, which is a little bit past Utica from
Very
here.
cool.
Yeah, a little south.
I remember there was a local connection to that movie.
Yeah.
I've actually been interested in seeing that one, basically because I like Kaczynski and I like Emily Blunt. So I know they're married in real life, and so I'd like to see the two of them together to see how that chemistry transfers to screen. But also, I've heard a lot of good things about how it's not just slasher, kill, die.
Yeah, no,
there's
like,
tension and
it's actually like an atmospheric horror, which is something you don't see at least I haven't seen very often anymore.
What do you think, Angela, on that one? Is that atmospheric
I don't know. I haven't
horror?
seen that one, but yeah, the atmospheric horror. I think it harkens back more to like the older movies too, like in the 50s and 60s. And one that I have to actually revisit that I would recommend is a French movie called Les Diaboliques. I don't have a good French accent. It's like Clouseau, I believe, is the director, without looking it up. But it definitely, I think those are older, but I think we're starting to see more of those now, like The Witch I just saw recently because it's on Netflix, and that kind of falls under that atmospheric type thing.
Yeah, the Nicole Kidman, The Others.
I hated that when I saw
It's not that great,
I don't know
but
why.
I'm saying it's along the same line.
And I'm glad you said that because I was about to ask you, well, why didn't you like it?
I don't know why.
See, I liked it. It scared the crap out of me.
The thing is, like, with atmospheric horrors, you run into this thing where you end up with a slow burn, and if you make the slow burn too long, the slow burn, it just kind of loses effect.
Yeah.
So you need a payoff pitch in atmospheric.
The problem I had with the others was the sound was weird. It's like I kept constantly turning the sound up, turning the sound down, turning the sound up, because it was like some parts were so quiet you couldn't understand, and other parts were screaming, and I'm like, it just drove me crazy.
I mean, I probably saw that at least 10 years ago, so I don't remember.
The Others with Nicole Kidman, is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The last horror movies I watched were the three we've just reviewed in the past 3 weeks. Dracula, Frankenstein, and the Wolfman. Those are the only ones I've watched as of late. It tends to be a genre I steer clear of.
And then there's the one that I made him watch when he was at my house last time.
Oh, what's that?
Tucker and Dale
versus Evil.
That's funny. I know that Sherry definitely said she leans towards the comedy
Yes.
with horror elements.
Dark comedy is always fun.
Yeah.
I did not consider that a horror movie after the fact. It was not a horror movie. It was definitely a very dark comedy. And it had Alan Tudyk, and he's awesome.
Yeah.
So there's the win right there.
Yeah.
Have you seen The Shining?
No. Well,
Terrible movie. Terrible movie.
Really?
The book was way better.
I saw the first half of The Shining.
I haven't read the book yet.
All
You haven't read the book?
I have it at my house.
The only thing that the movie made me want to do was read the book, because to me the Jack Nicholson movie made no sense.
Did you see the remake?
No, I have
TV?
not.
It's actually very good.
Yeah,
I heard it
Stephen
was.
King liked that one better, from what I
Yeah,
understand.
Stephen King absolutely hated
Oh, yeah.
the Kubrick version. He said it wasn't loyal to the source material at all.
Not at all. Not at all.
And the thing about Stephen King is, you know that he never holds his opinion. So if he's saying something, it's coming from the heart.
But the funny
Yeah.
thing about that is like Under the Dome was about as far away from the source material as possible, and King endorsed it and said it and had reasons why he thought you should be able to stray from source material. But he used that as an excuse to not like the Jack Nicholson movie, which...
Yeah.
Because
there was also a different era.
Yeah.
The Shining was filmed, what, in the 80s?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Under the Dome was just in recent years. There's 30 years where he could be a bit of a snob about his material, and then 30 years later, he's a multimillionaire. He probably doesn't care as much anymore.
His position's probably softened quite a bit in 30 years.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
what,
there's-
$8 million later?
But there's also the fact that with The Shining, Kubrick picked apart the book, and it didn't have a cohesive storyline because he cut out so much.
He did cut out a lot of important...
Whereas Under the Dome, it was it had a comprehensive storyline. It may not have been absolutely true to the book, or to the story, but it was still. It had the Kubrick's film it was in stark and pretty and shocking and made no sense from start to finish.
See, that's fine for me. I like pretty movies.
Well, and Kubrick was behind 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Which you know how I feel about that.
Do I?
How I feel about 2001?
Remind me.
It's pretty and stark and incredibly boring.
It is
I've heard that, too. I haven't
epitome
seen
of
it.
a slow burn.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
It's a movie for directors and
well, that's
film
what Kubrick
students.
makes. Kubrick makes art pieces.
Oh, definitely.
That's a thing. So you don't give Kubrick a script for Halloween 52. The Bride of Chucky returns to Jason's, Michael's house. I don't know what the hell you want to call it, but
Bride of Jason returns to Elm Street.
There you go.
Something like that.
How many Halloweens were you up to now?
I have no idea.
Many.
Too many. I've never
I know
seen
one just came out with Jamie Lee Curtis
There's-
reprising her original
There's
role.
got to be less than 20, but probably more than 12.
I have never seen a Halloween. I have never seen a Friday the 13th, and I've never seen a Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay, I've seen all three of those movies.
I've seen all three of the
Really?
original
I
ones.
have.
To be
See,
completely
but I think
honest,
I was in
you're
high school.
You're so behind, Otter.
I am.
I have all those at my house.
Hey,
That's a hint.
but I've seen Deathbed, the
Yes,
bed
I haven't
that
seen
kills.
that one. But I've seen Killer Condom, which is
Nice.
funny, which is a silly German
Thanksgiving.
movie.
I've seen
Yeah, I haven't
Thanksgiving.
seen that one either.
guys have
Tony.
Honestly, if you haven't seen Teeth, what are you doing?
Oh, yeah. Teeth, definitely.
Piranaconda. That's not a horror movie.
Okay, let's see. There's Halloween
a bad
2018.
movie.
There was Halloween 1978. There was Halloween 2007. There's Halloween 2, 81. Halloween H20, 20 years later. Halloween 4. Halloween 5. I'm just trying to...
We're up to 7.
Halloween Resurrection.
8.
I'm trying to kind of... Halloween The Curse of Michael Myers.
Okay, there's 9.
Halloween 3.
10th.
Yeah.
Which takes place after like 2 or 3 other movies. No, I'm just kidding.
I've heard Halloween 3 is pretty good, actually, although I haven't seen it.
Okay.
What we were on, like 8, 9,
I've seen
something
the
like
first
that.
2.
Yeah. But then if you're including, like, remakes into that.
Right, yeah, I was just trying to go
Just
to
the
like
regular
the original
ones, yeah.
ones.
Yeah, because Rob Zombie did, or did he do?
Yeah, the
Friday-
2007 was the Rob Zombie one.
I mean, at some point you gotta think the Simpsons probably did a better job of certain portrayals of these characters than them.
You know, it's funny because I was talking about the Simpsons Halloween stuff this morning.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
that's for the other.
That's next week.
Oh, yeah.
But
On Halloween itself.
no, so I'm like, yeah, I've seen bits and pieces of them, but I'm like, yeah, I've seen A Nightmare on Elm Street. I remember seeing Poltergeist.
Oh, I remember watching Poltergeist.
Not Poltergeist, Phantasm.
Oh, Phantasm. I haven't seen
I've seen
Phantasm, but
Poltergeist, too.
Poltergeist, I remember watching, my friend and I watched it at a sleepover at my house, and I don't know how old we were, maybe like 12 or 13. My parents let me watch whatever I wanted. And I don't know, like
It
nothing
explains a
scares me
lot,
now.
really. That kind of explains a lot, I
Yeah.
think, at this point.
Yeah. Nothing really scares me now, but I remember being afraid of that then when we were,
Oh,
I
God,
think we
yes.
might have been home alone. I don't even remember now. That was a while ago,
Yeah.
like 20 years.
You know what we haven't talked about yet?
What?
Sci-fi horror.
See, I'm not a huge sci-fi fan,
See,
but I like
really?
Aliens better than Alien.
Yes,
Yes.
I was just going to say
Yes.
that Aliens is one of my favorite scary movies.
Yeah.
The second one.
Yeah, the second one. I like that way more than the first one.
So
One of the top action movies ever.
are
We've
they
talked about
like
that.
classifying Venom as a horror movie?
Because
I typed in horror movies. And
No,
that's one
people
of the
keep
ones
calling
that,
Venom a superhero movie when Venom was never a superhero.
He's
He's
not
always
a
been a villain.
superhero. He's
They've kind of transformed him into an anti-hero in recent years
Yeah,
because
within like the last 2 decades, he's become more of an
in the book,
anti-hero.
the symbiote right now is actually merged with Flash Thompson from the Spider-Man lore.
Yeah.
And so he's become kind of like an anti-hero super soldier type thing going on there at the moment.
There's like an entire like hierarchy of the symbiotes.
Yes.
And some of them are bad, some of them are good. Carnage has always been bad.
Yes.
And always will be bad.
Right.
But Venom has slowly made a transition into more of an anti-hero role.
so it's not a horror movie.
Not really.
Not really, no.
No.
It doesn't seem like it would be.
No, in my personal opinion, it's not a horror movie.
Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense
That's
is
a horror movie.
Is
That's a horror movie.
Is more of a thriller.
It's a horror movie.
It's
It's a
horror
ghost
movie.
story.
It's a ghost story.
There you go.
I haven't seen that one
I
either.
suppose.
I already know the twist. That's okay. That doesn't bother me.
I see Bruce Willis.
That's funny though, because a friend of mine who always guesses the ending of movies, it
Oh, really?
makes me crazy. I like look for movies so I showed her that one. She fell asleep like 10 minutes into the movie.
And then
She
still
wakes
figured it
up
out.
about 45 minutes later and goes, "Yeah, he's dead." You're like, "How the hell did you do that?"
Osmosis.
She did the same thing with The Usual Suspects, and that
I know the ending of that too.
Kills
I haven't
me.
seen it.
Oh,
Spoilers don't bother me. I've watched plenty of movies. Like I watched The Crying Game when I knew the twist, and it was still a good movie.
But The Usual Suspects, I think, really loses a little bit if the
Does
first
it?
time you watch it, you know.
Right.
Yeah, I can kind of just ignore that I know things.
Yeah. Well, the really interesting thing is that every person who was in The Usual Suspects was told that they were Kaiser Soze.
Oh,
So they
that's
all They
interesting.
all played their roles as if they were all Kaiser Soze. So they didn't know
Yeah,
until
that's kind of a
they
good
finished
idea.
it who was actually
Yeah.
which character was actually Kaiser
Yeah.
Soze. I think that's just
That's
fascinating.
probably a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made it more believable that any of them
Oh,
could
yeah.
have been.
And now we're back into horror movies.
I know.
Well, you know, I
little
think-
tangent.
Well, because I grew up out in Lima, and there was like no houses near where.
So all
we
the
lived.
creepy sounds outside the house.
It was.
We're
It was
gonna-
basically Children of the Corn, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it is.
Oh, we tapped
it
on,
is
Ann's nerve there.
definitely creepy. So like watching Arachnophobia
Oh,
Oh
at
yeah.
a friend's
Haven't seen it?
house. At a friend's
see that.
house,
That's
then
funny shit.
driving home, and then coming into the house by myself. Granted, I'm 18, but coming to the house by myself, you could either go down a set of stairs into the basement or up the stairs into the kitchen. And it was very reminiscent of the scene in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
And I basically launched myself from the doorway up to the landing of the kitchen, missed all 4 steps because I was so freaked out from the movie. And then
it's well discussed and well known that I have a
fear of spiders.
Fear of spiders, a distaste for the horror fear of spiders.
See, I hate bugs in general.
Yes,
I'd
me too.
rather see 42 zombies get stabbed in the eye than a big
Bug
bug.
mud.
Bunch of bugs.
There is a spider called the TARDIS spider.
Oh, because it's the blue tarantula.
It's gorgeous. I want to be able to look at this spider, and I just
You
go,
can't
oh,
look
it's really pretty.
You can't look at it? You can't
No.
even look at spiders?
No.
Oh, they don't bother me
I've
that
gotten to the
much.
point
As
where
long
I
as they're
can look
not
at them on a
me.
picture, but they still creep
Oh,
me
yeah.
out
I
a
gotta
little bit.
look at this thing
But
now.
here's the thing. Let's backtrack real quick.
it is pretty.
Arachnophobia, the movie, comes out with Jeff Daniels,
Aren't they
who's one of my
beautiful?
favorite actors.
They're very pretty.
And I, as soon as I heard the movie existed, I immediately chalked off. I'm like, nope, not a chance in hell I'm watching this movie. Fast forward to my senior year of college, the 94-95 school year. I'm at SUNY Brockport. I'm an RA. I have my own room. And I was on duty, so I had to sit in my room and basically do nothing, wait for the drunk people to come home. And Arachnophobia is on Channel 13, the Saturday night movie, right? And so my door is open. I can see all the way down the hall. I know them. I've got all the exits covered. I figure I'm going to take a crack at this. I'm going to watch this movie.
All by yourself.
All by
Was there a comedic element to that
Oh, yeah.
movie?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
I
haven't
don't
seen it.
remember. Okay, because here's the first thing that I remember about watching this movie is the first few scenes, and I'm like, okay, there's predictable. Like one crawls in the shoe, creepy. Guy puts his foot in the shoe, okay, great, he got bit. Yeah, okay, I saw that one come. All right, the first jump cut where one comes out when they're in the barn, and then one drops down. And I screamed so loud
Like a little girl?
that my fellow RA one floor down called me to make sure everything was okay. And she could hear me through the open window, right? And she's like, are you all right up there? And I'm like, I'm watching a movie. She goes, tell me you're not watching the movie on Channel 13. I said, I am. She goes, and you hate spiders. She's known me for 4 years at this point. She goes, really? You alone watching that movie? I go, yeah. She goes, you're an idiot. Turn the TV off. Yes, here. And so, click, the movie goes off. I tried, though. I tried facing my fears. I failed, but I tried.
Okay, I have a question. We keep saying, well, is this a horror movie? Is this a horror movie?
Mm-hmm.
If it scares you, it's a horror movie.
Can you think of a movie that's not a horror movie but did scare you when you were younger?
Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah?
Scared the living hell out of me. I mean, I was 11 years old when that thing hit the theaters, and I remember my blood pumping in the theater watching that movie. That was intense. That's that feeling. That feeling is why Empire Strikes Back is my favorite Star Wars movie of all time. That adrenaline rush, because no other movie has really pushed me like that before, to where I'm like, I'm in the adventure. I'm flying through the asteroids with the Falcon. I was gripping the sides of the chair. My mom was with me, and she's like, do you want me to take you home, honey? Are you okay? I'm like, no, this is good. It's fine. Leave me alone. It's all good.
Okay, anybody else have one? Lana has one.
Third Harry Potter movie, when I first saw it,
Yeah.
scared me.
Not
that
what I
Azkaban?
thought you were going to what you were going to say.
Which one was that? Azkaban? Okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the one I thought you were going to say.
What'd you think she was going to say?
Clue.
Really?
Clue scared
Clue.
her. Yes, love that movie. She loved it, but it
too.
scared her.
So funny.
Scared her.
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry. Come on.
Mine's Romeo and Juliet.
Scared you?
I am deathly afraid of gnomes.
Okay.
Say, that's an adorable movie, too.
Okay, I can beat it. I can beat it.
Sherlock Gnomes?
Rankin and Bass Lord of the Rings cartoon, or Return of the
that's
King,
just-
it was called.
Just creepy as hell.
It scared
When
the
there's
crap
a whip,
out of me.
there's a way.
Scared the crap out of me.
there's a way.
Frodo of the Nine Fingers. I was terrified to turn, because I had to reach into the bathroom to turn the bathroom light on, and I was terrified something was going to bite my finger off when I went to turn on the light for like weeks after seeing that. I love Rankin and Bass, The Hobbit, hate Return of the King. And not just because it wasn't very good,
Yeah.
but because it terrified me as a
No,
child.
It was creepy.
There was a lot of movies that scared the bejesus out of me, and that's why I just don't like horror and scary and whatever
I like
type
scary.
thing.
So, yeah, and that's the thing. I think that's why the genre is so successful.
Mystery, but I don't like to jump in my seat. I mean, granted, watching the trailer for The Nun at the movie Tag between me and my son Tyler. We both jumped in our seats when it came out of the side thing. I'm like, nope, not going. Now, our friend Sean wants to drag me to that movie. He's like, he could care less about even watching the movie. He just wants to watch my reaction during the whole movie. And I'm like, you do realize I will be buried in your shoulder the entire time. It's a waste of $8. Mm-hmm. I'm like, don't, not to do it.
A friend of mine from high school, Rick, recently sent me the trailer for the remake of Pet Sematary.
Oh, they're making
No, I
it
have
up?
seen that one.
I saw, I went with him to the original.
Mm-hmm.
And he left with an imprint of my face on his chest. So when he sent me that I'm like, are you saying we should go see it? And he's like, why? Do you feel like being part of my chest again?
Well, if you're offering. If you're offering.
Oh, my God. But you know what? Of all the scary things, what made me get up and walk out of the theater was when the little boy got hit by the truck.
Yeah.
I left.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Just left.
I did read that book. That book is better than the movie.
So I love to read horror. I love reading
I can read it.
Yeah.
I can read it, not a problem. It's the actual visual and
For me,
jumping.
it's like I get really freaked out when I'm actually playing a horror video game.
I can't.
I can do movies most of the time, but if I'm actually playing Amnesia: The Dark Descent or Dead Space, even Dead Space, yeah, I'll start jumping and then I'll no, not anymore.
See, for me, on the video game aspect, for me, it was the original Half-Life back in the 90s. Because I was still, young in my geekdom, right? So I jury-rigged a whole surround sound speaker system in my little home office at my mom's house when I was out of college. And so they really did a lot. It's your first-person shooter with a lot of, aliens and bad guys and zombies and stuff, but then it comes a point where it transitions. And then the sound effects really kind of ramp in. And when you're playing it at 11 o'clock at night and you've got, all this chittering and creaking going on behind you, because I was really creative and clever and questioning my own stupidity.
Don't
you continue to do that?
Oh, my God. Oh, see, that's just, that's par for the course now.
It sounds like, to me, you have this. Do you have a love-hate relationship with scary movies?
Yes.
Where you think you want to see them,
Yeah.
you enjoy them, you may
then you're
enjoy
like,
them
why did I do
afterwards, but while they're happening.
Yeah, while it's happening, it's like, oh,
Why did
damn,
I do
why
this?
did I do this to myself?
A summer or two ago, and it's not a great movie. It's barely a decent movie. It's at 47 Meters Down, the shark movie with Mandy Moore.
Right, I remember hearing
I've
about that.
had a free afternoon, and that was there.
I remember you telling me that you had watched it.
And while I was watching it, my whole thing is, why am I here? Why did I pay to be this scared?
Why am
by
I doing
a dumb movie?
Yeah.
It's a very mild case of masochism.
Yeah.
I think it's just ingrained in us.
And that's kind of that was the part I wanted to bring up, because you said it even in the write-up. There are people who love this stuff because they love that rush, they love that excitement, they love that being jarred and that facing, the extremes of reality or outside of reality. And then there are those of us who are like, what the ever-loving hell am I watching?
They actually think that it's genetic.
Yeah.
That they've found
It could be.
They've found a gene that people who aren't scared by horror movies, like you, Ange,
I'm not. Yeah.
They're psychopaths.
That must be my
My-
father, because
the
he's
people
not
who are
scared
the
by
people
him.
who
Yeah.
are scared by horror movies have a similar one gene.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ones who aren't, who find them funny or interesting, it's an entire that gene is different.
So it's genetic
Yeah.
They think it may be.
I wonder
scientific
if it's
thing.
I wonder if it's anything similar to the gene that's supposed to make you a psychopath or a sociopath.
Maybe. My mom watched horror movies. My sister will distinctly recall sleeping on the couch because she was sick and waking up and my mom was watching Child's Play and she was afraid. And then my mom...
I like Child's Play.
Yeah, my mom
Thank you.
said one of the scariest movies she remembers was when she was a child. My grandmother took her to see Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte, which...
Oh, I've heard.
It's a black and white. I can't remember when it came out, maybe in the 50s. And I have seen it. I only vaguely recall the plot, but
I've heard-
because the head rolling down the stairs is the scariest thing.
Yeah.
As opposed to Chris's scariest movie, Hush
64.
Hush, Sweet Charlotte's Web.
But the pig saves everybody in the end.
Yes.
My mom and sister both, when they were very, very little, watched Birds. And
That one,
The Hitchcock?
yeah,
that freaks me out.
They absolutely,
That's funny.
They have like aviophobia or something
Yeah.
like that.
I saw that because my mom's. I was feeding a seagull when we were on vacation. She goes, "Oh, you wouldn't do that if you saw the movie The Bird." So then I had to see it.
Yeah. I don't know why, but for some reason, I remember when I was a kid, every year around this time, they would always play The Birds, and they would play Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. And for some reason, I watched them every year, and I am terrified of the dark.
Me too.
Really bad. Like I think it's because I can't see. I mean, literally, I can't focus. I can't look. I can't like see past like a foot in front of my face. I have very poor
Night
vision, and I can feel that my eyes are not focusing.
You know what's fun?
It scares me.
When humans are naturally only afraid of two things: heights and the dark. So
Spiders.
it's really interesting to like put yourself into pitch black, like natural black, where like you can't actually see anything because there is no light. It's there's like a few places around the world where they like you can actually like pay to do it, where they'll like put you in a room and turn off all the lights. It's really interesting.
Nope. I remember when I was a kid, they had this small haunted house type thing at Sangertown Mall in New Hartford. And one of the rooms, and you went in the first room. It was before I had my issue with strobe lights, and I remember it was a gorilla jumping around with strobe lights, and I'm like, okay. The next room was pitch black, and you had to follow a path by holding onto a rope. While somebody whispered, "Don't be afraid of the dark. Don't be afraid of the dark. Don't be afraid of the dark." I turned around, and walked out.
I don't remember that. How long ago was that?
No, I was probably like 7, 8 years old.
Oh,
so,
okay, so
yeah.
a while ago.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit older than you.
True atmospheric horror.
Oh, awful. It was awful. I just left. My mom's like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, no.
Well, and going back to that, and like I tell you, the house that we lived in was a farmhouse in Lima. My parents had the bedroom downstairs. I'm an only child, so I had the bedroom upstairs. So when like thunder and lightning storms came around and all the trees are shaking and going against the windows and things like that, it's pitch black out there and it scares the bejesus out of people. I remember there was a night that my husband and I, before we got married, were watching Universal Soldier. And I just can't handle that movie anyway because it's all the gore fest or whatever. Well, he goes to leave to go back to Spencerport, and we're in Lima, and there's no streetlights out there, not whatsoever. And he's going out to his car, and he calls me when he gets home. He goes, "Your werebeagle got me." I'm like, "The werebeagle?" He goes, "Yeah, one of my dad's hunting beagles had come up out of nowhere." It's like, because she had congestive heart failure.
Oh, jeez.
And proceeded to jump on him and scared him because he wasn't expecting it. I'm like, "Haha, got you," type thing. But yeah, there was like no lights whatsoever out there. And I remember having some friends over, probably middle school, high school, or whatever, and we had watched some scary movies or whatever. Doesn't my dad go running around the outside of the house and starts banging on the windows when we were watching it in the living room or whatever, and scared the bejesus out of all of us and thought that was hysterical?
I'm just making a note to myself. The next time I dungeon master your table, I'm going to throw a werebeagle at Randy.
A werebeagle at Randy,
Werebeagle at Randy.
His name's got to be Tessie.
Okay.
Speaking of RPGs, I love playing horror RPGs. Love them.
I have not actually ever played one.
Stuff
I've
By the Dying Light or stuff like that?
Cthulhu, Dying Light.
I've played Cthulhu, I've played Chill, and I've played Beyond the Supernatural.
Okay.
Which is my favorite.
I've played Vampire, but we didn't have all the
briefly.
didn't have all the rules for the book. So
let me tell you, Vampire. When you play, let me just get this out, Tony.
Sorry.
When you play Vampire in college, all right, what you're doing is you're writing scripts for a CW show. It's about as horror driven as Teletubbies. Okay, everybody wants to be a sexy vampire, and then there's going to be this one guy in the corner who's got the Megadeth T-shirt and he smokes cigarettes, and he's got the beard that looks like it probably is epic, and he goes, "I'm dark, man. I'm going to be the bloodthirsty one. You shut up, dude. We don't take you seriously. Go away." No, it's seriously. You don't. That's Vampire is not a horror game.
Did you know that there was a TV show based on it?
No, I didn't.
I have it on VHS.
Really?
It starred C. Thomas Howell.
That's funny as hell.
Interesting.
You were saying, Tony.
I started playing Heavy Rain.
Uh-huh.
It's it's a game where you're hunting the origami killer.
Okay.
And
does he fold everybody into different shapes?
No, he leaves like a origami, like paper crane or paper something.
In modern horror cinema, something like that is actually feasible at this point as a plot line. He folds the body into cranes.
Oh my god! Yeah, I started playing it, and I started playing it at night, and like when you hit the first like murder scene, it really gets you.
Really?
At least for me, it did.
Okay. Anne. Boo.
Boo.
Hi.
Cornfields.
Cornfields.
Well, yeah.
Children of the Corn.
Is there not a
terrified
cornfield
me.
outside your house?
We have a cornfield on either side of my house, about 21 acres surrounding me.
Are there
And,
children in it?
There are 3 total towhead blondes that work on the farm.
So
And,
you
they
have a
scared
certain
me.
connection
Yes.
to this.
Have they come out to scare you?
Yes.
Oh, the guy who played Malachi in Children of the Corn is going to be at Scaricon this year.
Boo.
Oh, I saw that actually.
Yes,
now that
I
you say that.
could get to meet him. Okay. Everything got really quiet there.
Well, we're all like kind of gearing back up for horror because we've scared Anne
So
with
how
regards
about,
to no.
How about dark comedy like The Burbs with Carrie Fisher and Tom Hanks? That was fun.
Which
had
I
not seen
haven't
that one.
seen.
Really? I haven't seen that
Very
one.
funny.
Yeah.
Have you?
Can
have
we
you
talk
ever-
about The Evil Dead?
I love
Army of Darkness?
Evil Dead 2 is my favorite
best.
Evil Dead. It's so
Oh, it's
funny.
so good.
So
cheesy.
funny.
So
That's the point, though.
I know. I just
It's
can't get past
so
it.
good.
It's Bruce Campbell. I just
Yes.
love Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
No. Say it right. Bruce effing Campbell. Okay.
He actually wrote a great book about his experience making those movies.
Yeah.
It's called If Chins Could Kill.
That book is so good.
Confessions of a B movie.
There's a sequel,
actor?
Cher.
That's funny.
Yes, I know.
I
I
have to
haven't-
read it.
I have to get it too. I'm hoping I like it better than Make Love the Bruce Campbell
Yeah,
Way,
I
which
hope so too.
really
I
disliked.
was not a fan either.
But that wasn't really nonfiction.
I got to meet Bruce Campbell in Syracuse a bunch of years ago.
Really?
I think they showed Army of Darkness, and then he did like a little signing session afterwards.
Closest I've ever gotten to was meeting Ted Raimi.
Yeah.
All right, you primitive screwheads. This is my boomstick.
But that's not a horror movie, in my opinion.
Well, it's a comedy horror movie.
It's also a period piece. It's more of a fantasy movie.
I don't know why I
in
didn't
my
think of it
opinion.
beforehand, but I made movies as a kid because I found my
Did
dad's
you?
Super 8 movie camera right when I was about 9-10 years old. So I got together with all the guys on the street, and we carried. Our first movie was a horror movie. We did a remake of Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Yes.
It's an awesome movie.
Beautiful.
I had this 2.5-3 foot cage ball, which was orange in color. So we did the quick Texas switch, right? So you see him the farmer, my buddy Randy, not her Randy, dumping sawdust on a plant, and then boom, the next thing you know, there's the cage ball, and then we would just throw it at people from off screen, and so it would be splatting people. And
Is it a horror movie? That is question.
I haven't seen it. I remember there was that cartoon though
Attack of the Killer
in
Tomatoes,
like the 90s.
that is serious comedy.
No, I mean, but is it horror
With a body
or is
count.
it sci-fi? It's often put in with sci-fi.
Okay, well, I'm going to call it comedic horror.
What about Beetlejuice?
Horror.
Yeah.
Horror
Beetlejuice
comedy.
is a horror comedy.
I
Yeah.
said it twice. Don't say it one more time.
It's showtime.
And Gremlins, very funny. movie.
Oh, yeah,
Gremlins is
Gremlins, too.
definitely a horror movie. But
it's part of the reason why we have the PG-13 rating.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
yeah.
Well, I know on the way here, Sherry said she hasn't seen Shaun of the Dead, which is a wonderful.
That's classic horror comedy right
classic
there.
horror
Yeah,
I've
comedy,
actually
yeah.
seen parts of that.
Zombies.
Gonna go down to the Winchester for a pint until all
You
blows
can't do
over.
zombies?
Zombies
I-
are one of my favorites.
Bad with zombies. I've seen Fido.
How do you deal with Monk in the morning?
It's you have to kind of like maneuver her, or she walks into walls sometimes.
Must add coffee.
Yeah, no, she doesn't drink coffee.
Okay.
So these are the zombie ones you've seen?
Yeah, I've seen Fido. I've seen Cabin in the Woods, which I loved, despite the fact that it
Which
was
isn't a full zombie movie.
I have
No.
a quick question.
Sure.
Isn't Gremlins a Christmas movie?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yes,
It
So
most
is
certainly-
Die Hard.
Die Hard is a
Yeah.
Christmas movie, no matter what Bruce Willis says.
exactly.
It's my favorite Christmas movie.
What about Nightmare
That
Before
and
Christmas,
Emmett
then?
Otter.
Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah.
That's a
It's-
Halloween and a Christmas movie.
Yeah, twofer.
Twofer, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a 2-for-1 special. I think we need to do a podcast about all of the quote-unquote
Multi-genre.
non-standard Christmas
Non-standard
movies.
holiday movies.
Holiday movies.
Seasonal?
Seasonal affect disorder.
Seasons greetings.
I don't know.
I was going to say, I've seen bits and
Terrified
pieces.
you as a child.
I've seen bits and pieces of Zombieland.
Okay.
Oh, she's
Rule
got it
number
up
1,
here.
cardio.
28 Days and 28 Days Later.
Didn't see
Those
either
were
of those.
good. Those were very good.
I tend to not really go for horror movies because of the fact that I have that love-hate thing that Billy was talking about earlier. I don't really want to be scared. I might after I've heard about it, or maybe I've gotten a couple of spoilers. Then I'll go back and I'll watch
intrigued.
something. I'll be intrigued maybe. But if it's just a slasher, if it's just a reason to cut people up and throw blood around the set, I don't want to watch that shit.
What about the Resident Evil movies?
Never seen them.
the Resident Evil movies?
Those
I
are-
have sucked up and
those
watched
are
those.
zombie-esque.
Those are zombie-esque. They're more
They're
action
infected.
movies. And Mila Jovovich.
Because I've seen them all.
Surely my reason for watching.
I'm going to say, because I've actually
You've seen all of them? There's like a million of them
I've
now.
actually
There's like
seen all
7
of
of them, or 6 or
Something,
7
I
of
don't
them.
know.
I thought it was like 14. Oh, wait,
No.
no, that's the games.
That's the
My
game.
bad.
That's the games.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I want to say there's either 4 or 5 of the Resident Evil movies.
I will watch Mila and
stop.
Ellie Larder and
So here, I'll swing us back around to some,
Please.
Here we
some
go.
zombie comedy. And I mentioned this to Sherry on the way here. Peter Jackson's Dead Alive. That's a good one. If
I
anyone's
remember
seen
hearing
it.
about that one. I have not watched it. Peter
And
Jackson's
it's
Dead Alive.
Not
Yeah.
even close to being his weirdest movie
No,
ever.
not even close.
That'd be The Hobbit.
No.
Meet the Feebles.
Meet the Feebles.
It's like the Muppets.
But
Porn style.
Yes.
It's really frightening.
Oh,
that
Dead
reminds
Snow.
me.
Tony's been reminded of something.
When I was a kid, the Dark Crystal scared the living piss out of
Yes.
me.
Now that is high fantasy right there.
Yeah.
That was
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I loved The Dark Crystal, but
love-
I've met several people who've been like, "No, I can't deal with it."
No, I love it now, but when I was 6 watching that movie, it scared me so much.
One of the last batches I got from one of those DVD clubs. You spend $5 and you get 12 DVDs or something like that. I got The Dark Crystal because I had not seen it in so long and I wanted to watch it. I wanted to watch it with the kids.
Such a good movie.
As soon as I unpackaged it and I showed it with great excitement, I showed it to my ex-wife and she's like, "Oh God, no!" And she actually ran out of the room. And I'm thinking, was that all it took to get rid of her?
You were thinking you should have done that years?
No. I'm sorry, honey.
As a child, the never-ending story scared me.
Only because you thought it was going to keep going.
Yes.
Yes. Is it never ending? You mean I'm going to have to watch this movie
And the
for 12
worst part,
hours?
it's only the first half of the book.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't seen that since I was probably 12.
So let's touch on that. Labyrinth. Is that a horror movie or is that high
No,
fantasy?
that's fantasy.
That's fantasy.
Okay. But it has a big evil monster in it.
It has scary stuff.
Scary stuff.
Scary stuff.
There's
For those of you who didn't hear it, Monk said a David Bowie bulge.
It was
That
kind of
is
frightening.
That is definitely that's a term that has to go into the
The lexicon.
the urban lexicon. The Bowie bulge
The Tony Bacchetta Book of Quotes.
legend. It has a big scary monster in it.
wasn't Tim Curry in that.
Yes.
Darkness.
I'm not a big fan of fantasy, so I haven't seen most of these movies.
Yeah. He played Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, of all the ones we've mentioned, that's probably my least favorite.
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I received a suggestion that we should book club Legend one of these days. And I very politely said, well, we'll put that on the list as consideration. Probably not going to happen, though.
Horror is that
okay.
genre that's looked down upon, though. So, anything
Yes.
can have horror elements. But, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you look at, Silence of the Lambs, it's always spoken of as a thriller, but it's definitely a horror movie.
I agree.
If you've read the
And
book,
I-
for sure.
Fatal Attraction horror movie?
No.
I don't know if I've seen it. recently
Relationship
enough.
guide? More of a self-help
Cautionary
movie.
tale.
It's more of a self-help
Yeah.
movie,
That's
really.
probably more of a thriller,
Yeah, I would say so.
Just,
a true thriller.
just you never look at the rabbits the same way.
Jerry,
Then
what's
it's
your-
Monty Python Search for the Holy Grail.
That is not
No.
any way, shape, or form a horror movie.
I'm not going to look at rabbits.
But the bunny part is so fun.
I'm not going to look at rabbits.
the
the other
Vorpal
thing.
bunny.
I'm sorry.
That rabbit's dynamite.
It's got huge
British humor is horrible at times.
I actually sat down and watched Life of Brian for the first time last night.
Awesome movie.
Is that the one
yeah.
where it says conjugate the verbs?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh,
Romans go home.
on the bright side of life. Okay,
Anyway,
tangent.
15 horrors that completely flopped. Let's see. and 15 that were massive hits.
15 horror movies that completely flopped?
Yes.
All right, go ahead. Fire through the list.
I'm trying.
Oh, the clicking lists are so annoying, though.
The Thing.
The Thing was
the Kurt
amazing.
Russell?
John Carpenter's, yeah.
That's a good movie.
1982.
That movie's awesome.
Oh, is it a
How about The
clickbait
New
list?
Thing?
Oh, I hate those.
It.
It.
Which
the
one?
recent one?
The recent one.
The
recent
original one was so bad. Oh my god!
I kind of
so
like it in some ways,
awful.
though.
I do,
I
too.
think nostalgia.
Oh, no, they said that one was a hit.
Yeah.
So flopped.
We're alternating.
Halloween 3 Season of the Witch is a flop.
I haven't seen it, but everyone says it's awesome.
Hit Jaws.
Jaws is a
Jaws
horror
is so
movie. Yeah,
good.
that's your typical monster movie kind of thing going
Yep.
on. Yeah, okay.
Flopped Mary Riley.
Don't know that
I
one.
haven't
It's
seen
the
it.
That
story
is-
of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde's housekeeper.
Yes,
It looks
played
like
by
Julia
Julia
Roberts.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
and John
A hit.
Malkovich.
The Nun.
Really?
I don't know. I thought The Nun was boring, personally. I haven't seen The Conjuring, though, which I think is where it's from.
Most of the people I've seen who've been talking about it, who are really into horrors, didn't really like it because I've been hearing it relies too much on jump scares.
Yeah, jump scares don't make me jump ever.
Yeah.
Okay, flopped. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation. So it's got to be a sequel.
Yeah. Well, it has, because I can see it on the screen next to me. Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger is in that.
Now, I've seen the first one.
The original or the remake?
No, I saw the original. Way back when
The 74 or whatever.
maybe it was the remake. I had to have been in the
Yeah.
80s.
It was probably the 74 one you saw in the 80s. They didn't remake
Who
it.
was the
Yeah.
villain in? Is that Leatherface? Is that?
Yes.
the-
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
The whole
Hit-
family.
Hit
And his distant
Conjuring.
relative Taserface.
Okay, a flop is The Wolfman 2010,
Okay.
Benicio del Toro.
It was directed by Mark Romanek. He directed a lot of Nine Inch Nails videos.
Okay, a hit.
That explains a lot.
Hit is The Exorcist.
Exorcist.
Oh, come on. Flopped Adam's Family Values. I like Adam's Family.
I like them both,
I
Yeah.
feel like I like them both.
I
and
like
I
them
don't
both too.
really consider them horror movies, though.
Or comedies?
Kind of. Maybe horror comedy. I haven't seen them recently enough.
Hit Friday the 13th.
See, sure, you have to see Friday the 13th for... No, I can't think of his name. Who's in it? Shoot.
Is that Jason?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
I
Friday the
saw
13th, Jason
one. I
Voorhees.
saw
It
one
has
murder.
The camp.
Yeah, I saw one murder. It was on TV, and a guy was laying in a cot.
Kevin
and-
Bacon, that's who I'm thinking of.
and-
That's Kevin Bacon.
And
That's
a
my
knife
favorite kill.
comes up through his throat and just turns. And I went,
Yeah.
okay, I'm done.
That's my favorite kill in that movie. That's the best one. Yeah, that's
And
Kevin Bacon.
I've seen that, and I saw
Spoiler?
Johnny.
I don't know.
I saw Johnny Depp's
in Nightmare on Elm Street.
death
yeah.
in Nightmare
That's
on
a
Elm
good.
Street.
That's a good death in that one too.
Nightmare on Elm Street's a good movie. The first two, I think.
I like, yeah.
I like New Nightmare also.
Okay, this one I don't even recognize, but it says flopped, A Cure for Wellness. It
Oh, that came out recently.
2016, and it says already
Oh.
people tend not to remember it.
So yeah.
That was directed by someone.
What happened
Some big
was
name.
there's
Gore
like
It was
Verbinski.
directed by somebody.
See, some big name. Gore Verbinski. She got it.
Yes.
Okay. I just love that line, though. It was directed by someone. Yeah, no, some movies just spontaneously exist. They come into
Yeah.
Sometimes they seem like it.
Yeah.
Another one flopped, Slither.
I saw Blair Witch
Slither.
Project on there. I saw
Oh,
that.
it's got Nathan Fillion in it. You
Yes,
gotta go watch
Slither
it.
was good.
Yes.
I saw that when I was at school in Buffalo, and we got free passes because I worked at FYE.
Okay. Hannibal is allegedly a hit.
I like the ending of the book better than the movie.
I don't know. I saw Silence
Yeah.
of the Lambs, but did not see Hannibal.
Oh, Monster Squad's a classic 80s one.
They say it flopped, but this one I'm
I
definitely
have the DVD.
agreeing with
that Van
as a
Helsing?
hit. Van Helsing.
Is that where
Hugh Jackman.
You're saying that it's saying that it's a hit?
They said
That's
it was
what
a
they
hit.
said.
2 words?
I didn't think it was that great.
2 words. Kate Beckinsale. Just saying.
Oh, stop.
No, Hugh Jackman, and the friar that's with him.
Oh yeah.
What is his name?
The character actor.
I love him
I don't know,
too.
but I just love him.
I'll
as
look
his-
it up.
I think
love
go
him.
about
my
you
mom
keep going with the
absolutely
list. I'll
loves
look it
that
up.
movie. My
It's
mom,
just fun.
yeah.
You know, the worst part is they're saying that it's a hit, but they actually built all those houses because if it was a big hit, they were going to do whole other movies and TV series using that thing, and they never did anything because
Now
it
it
wasn't
says no
big
one
enough.
remembers just what a hit Van Helsing actually was at the time. When Universal tried to get its Dark Universe off the ground recently, there seemed to be an attempt to pretend that this movie never happened.
See, that's just what you said.
As it was already the kind of massive monster crossover that they seemed to want to build towards. It won over fans of monster action, making $300 million at the box office.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
David Wenham played the Friar.
Thank you.
Who's also Faramir in the Lord of the Rings movies for the
Oh,
people playing
okay.
and keeping score at home.
Yes.
Flopped Grindhouse.
I liked Grindhouse.
Oh, I loved Grindhouse.
I like Death Proof a little bit better than the
Is this the
Rodriguez
one that
one.
had
Quentin
That's the one with
Tarantino?
Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I've
Okay.
seen this one too.
Okay.
You've
Because
seen
it was
more
two.
horror
It was
than you
two
thought.
movies.
I just didn't know. Okay, so therefore, horror versus like the hack and slash gore type. I don't know. I've seen Sin City too. What's that considered?
Action.
Action.
Yeah, Sin City is definitely action noir.
Yeah.
Okay, Hit the Ring.
Okay, story about The Ring. I was working in a house for people with developmental disabilities, and everybody had gone to bed. And it was me and another staff, and we were looking for something to watch. And she said, "Okay, let's watch The Ring." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not really." And she's like, "No, it's great." About 10 minutes in, I'm like, "Okay, it's already making no sense." She's like, "Don't worry, it'll all make sense in the end." I'm like, "Okay." Halfway through, I'm like, "It's really not making sense. You promise it's going to make sense at the end." Absolutely, it's going to make so much sense at the end. I'm like, "Okay." 3/4 of the way, you promise. Oh, yeah, it's going to make sense. Get to the end. I'm like, "Okay, explain it to me." She's like, "I have no clue."
But see, The Ring was in that whole period of time where they wanted to do all these American remakes of Japanese movies. Like, Ju-on is way better than The Grudge.
And I hear Ringu
haven't
makes
seen
a lot.
I
hear
haven't seen
Ringu
Ringu.
makes more sense
Yeah,
than The Ring.
But I've seen The Ring, but I haven't seen Ringu. But I do enjoy Asian horror movies a lot.
Yeah.
What is it about them?
They tend to be less afraid of going into more taboo territory.
Okay.
They're also a little quicker to do the whole body mutilation
Yeah.
stuff. Like,
Yeah.
what was that movie? The Interview? Is that what it's called?
I don't know. There's
I
one
mean,
called
if-
Tetsuo where someone turns into an Iron Man.
If you look
Literally.
at like Japanese anime, it's like
Oh,
the
yeah.
exact same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was
Japanese
a-
sensibility
there was-
and culture is very interesting how it
Yeah,
approaches
yeah.
certain things. It really
I
does.
wonder if that's the film that we've been looking for years that we saw
What?
years ago. It was a sci-fi film. And
Oh,
it was
Tetsuo?
called Iron Man.
Yeah, it's called Tetsuo the Iron Man. Yeah, I have that.
That
DVD.
was
I have that
bizarre.
DVD if you want to
That's a
see.
bizarre movie.
Okay,
Yes.
they say
There's a future podcast. Just we'll talk about Japan.
Yes.
You know what's weird? Japanese commercials are weird.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to throw a Korean zombie movie called Train to Busan.
I have to see that. I heard it was excellent.
It's
on
excellent.
Netflix.
Yes, it is.
okay,
Is it subtitled?
Yes.
Okay.
flopped Event Horizon.
Oh God, yeah, it was horrible. I remember taking my roommates to see Event Horizon. I picked the movie that movie night.
trying to figure
and
out
I thought
who
it was
this
going to be this
is.
great sci-fi thriller, like right there with Alien.
Who is
and
this?
then halfway through the movie,
know?
it turned into a slasher flick, and I was
I'm
just
blinking.
like
He looks
so
so familiar.
disappointed. It was horrible.
Who is that?
Sam Neill.
Yeah, Sam Neill.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, he's yummy looking.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park.
Oh,
Lawrence
you're
Fishburne's in
right.
that one. Jason Isaacs is in that one.
I love Jason Isaacs.
Oh God, I can see some of the faces. It's been a while. I mean, I've only watched the movie once.
So
He's Malfoy, right? Or
Yes.
Jason
Lucius
Isaacs.
Malfoy,
yeah, Lucius.
Jason Isaacs also is Captain Gabriel Lorca in Star Trek Discovery's first season, and I
Yep.
just finished watching that on CBS All Access, and it was good.
yeah, I enjoyed
We'll talk
it.
about that another time.
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about that
A
another
hit,
time.
Silence of the Lambs.
Yep.
Such a good film.
So
Yeah.
Okay.
Did it deserve an Oscar? I'm not sure.
Me and my friends have this bad movie club where we the specific parameters is either movies that started off good and then just got way too many sequels, or movies that are just standalone terrible movies.
Okay.
Okay,
So-
I have a whole list for you because we do that specifically with horror movies at this time of year with my cousin.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Right
like
now-
have viewing parties of things like Hell Baby and Deathbed and the god awful Incubus with William Shatner,
We're
filmed entirely in Esperanto.
we watched Bobo Common. It was the idea behind it was like Elvis didn't actually die. He trade placed with the lookalike, and that was the one who died on the toilet.
Oh, Bubba
And-
Hotep.
Bubba
Hotep.
Hotep.
That's a great
That's
movie.
a great movie.
That's a great movie.
Bruce Campbell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one that they
They
have
just
to
screened
stop
that in
and-
Syracuse recently.
Awesome.
I got to remind you guys, Sherry, put your finger over the button. It's Bruce fucking Campbell. Let's get it right.
Just don't say it again.
No, you already. Oh no, you
No, he
bleeped it
said-
out. He bleeped
I
it
sort
out.
of censored myself
He censored
earlier.
it the first time, so
yeah.
that's one.
If we
'Cause I know-
have too many swear words, I have to hit an explicit button.
And Morgan effing Freeman.
I want my life to be narrated by Morgan Freeman. Seriously.
I want my life to be narrated by Samuel L. Jackson.
There you go.
Is it snakes on a plane?
Sassy singing muses.
Oh dear Lord. All right, so we can keep going. We're going to
We
find our path
definitely-
through everything at this point, but we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're probably going to end up talking a little bit more about other things, and then we've got some events coming up. We got a couple of things going on, and
Something
then
about horror.
Something about horror, and then we have our question of the week.
We do?
I think so. There's a thing.
Ah, yes.
Is he having fun watching how the sausage is made?
My girlfriend won't watch horror movies with me. That annoys me. That sucks. She's like, because I like them, right? She's like, no, I can't. It's my ovaries. I can't watch. It's too scary. I can't do it. You know, I'm not afraid of horror movies. You know why? I have real problems. I'm broke. I'm scared of horror movies. You know, like I'm not worried about demonic possession. I'm worried about car repossession. If I'm home alone and my lights go out, it's not Freddy or Jason. It's Epcor, right?
We've all been there.
It's a count.
I'm in the middle of it now.
Yeah.
Comedian
Sorry to the-
Kelly Salanduco.
Sorry to
real.
those who do not have headphones and couldn't hear that we were just listening to comedy.
Oh, okay.
About not liking horror movies because
Yeah.
it's real life for them.
All right, so the event calendar is chock full of stuff. Mighty Monkey Corporation Night at Nightmare Manor with special guest Michael Koski from The Walking Dead coming up October 25th.
That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow?
That's tomorrow.
No,
Yes.
yes, it is.
It's tomorrow.
Wow, time flies when you're having fun.
Yes.
So get your tickets now. Stop by. Starts at 7 p.m. Nightmare Manor, Southtown Plaza, 3333 West Henrietta Road, Rochester, New York, 14623. Donations of children's books or school supplies accepted to walk through with directors of Mighty Monkey Corporation and Michael Koski. Proceeds of the evening go to MMC Education Programs. Please note that no discounts or coupons apply to this special event.
And it is Nightmare Manor's last year.
So if you ever wanted to do the Nightmare Manor, now is your chance to get it done because you're not going to get a chance to
And
do
we've
it
already
again.
decided that I don't like horror, so I'm not going through.
No, you're going through.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
thought
you're,
you weren't
you're going
even
through with
going.
Michael.
I'm not going through.
With Michael.
No, not.
We'll
And
do-
you can't make me because I'm at the Rochester Auditorium Theater that night.
Oh yeah.
As I said, I thought you weren't even
I know,
going.
that's why I'm just like,
What are you seeing at the Auditorium Theater? Nightmare.
Rumors, the tribute band to Fleetwood Mac.
Okay.
I'm going with Helen and one of Helen's friends.
That's
Okay.
the 25th, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I might bring
October
some
25th.
friends.
Bring friends.
Bring friends.
Buy tickets.
Yep.
On
However,
the following
Friday
evening,
night, though, I'm available.
so tomorrow night is that, and then the night after that, Friday night, is a tasting and trivia at Knox Craft Cocktails and Comfort Foods, again with Michael Koski, one of our shenanigators. Tickets are $35, include a drink voucher, light food tastings, and an evening of trivia. That's going to be from 7 till about 11 o'clock at Knox Craft Cocktails and Comfort Foods at the Village Gate Mall.
And Michael has geared up by watching Jeopardy and playing Trivial Pursuit. So he is ready.
He's gearing up.
He's gearing up. He'll help anybody.
Nice. He's going to be our ultimate wild card wingman.
He is a wild card.
Yes, he is. That's what I love about him.
I know.
Seriously.
Me too.
Just when you think you're watching Greg French and all of a sudden you realize that Michael's doing something else entirely.
And I lost him in Wegmans.
Well, that's why there was two of us.
I know. Thank God there's only one of them here this time.
Yes.
I can't keep track of both.
All right, Flower City Mini Cons coming at you October 27th and 28th. That's this weekend, Saturday and Sunday at the Grease Ridge Center Mall. Tables for the weekend are still available, $75 for artists and vendors. If you're interested, contact Brian at fc3roc.org. And it will be what we usually do when we're there. It's going to be some vendors. There's going to be guests. There's going to be costume contests. There's going to be a gaming area. And the Monkey Crew will be there bopping around, having a good old time, and entertaining you for your amusement. So that's Halloween weekend.
I'm really excited about that.
In a nutshell.
In regards to MiniCon, let me jump on first.
Mm-hmm.
On Saturday at 3 o'clock is the cosplay contest.
Right?
And then at Sunday at 2 o'clock is the cosplay contest. So we're having 2 of them that weekend.
And on the prize list is Anthony Bacchetta's private phone number so that you can contact him at all hours.
That's exciting.
He's a computer engineer, so he'll help you with those IT problems.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a computer engineer. He's a reasonably good dancer, sings well. We've heard him on stage at Aquinas in his days there.
Actually, I don't sing. I never sang at Aquinas.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
We're going to say you sing anyway.
Okay, cool.
It's the power of radio.
Actually,
Are we like? Is this kind of like
He
we're
likes
doing
long
like
walks.
a bachelor auction of Tony?
I wasn't going to say anything, but
Maybe.
I mean, it is a horror weekend.
We'd have to do it the Saturday because I'm not there the Sunday.
Because it's his birthday.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And,
Well, if somebody pays enough money, you will be there on Sunday.
and ladies, he's legal. Guys, he's legal.
I turned 21, so you can take me out
There
to a bar.
you go.
Or I can take you out to a bar.
But it's your birthday, so everyone has to buy you drinks.
Exactly.
There you have it. See, so we're off to
So
our
those
usual.
we have a very busy weekend.
We have a
coming
very
up.
busy weekend coming up. It's
So
gonna,
I'm going home to sleep
there you go.
because I know I'm not going to get much sleep this
No,
weekend.
not this weekend. No. Would you, dear listener, want to be a part of FC3 Monkey Business and the Mighty Monkey Corporation? There are a few ways of doing that. Yes, it's the business time of the podcast. Guess what? The first way to do it is to become a sponsor. We have sponsorship levels of all kinds and are even willing to create custom sponsorship packets. Contact us at sponsorship@fc3roc.org. The next way is to support us on Patreon. Please check us out at www.patreon.com/FC3ROC. All membership levels will include access to the Patreon-only blog, plus tons of great perks at all levels. Want to help others find the show? Please leave us a review wherever you listen to us. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Podbean, YouTube, and Stitcher. Is there a place you find your podcast, but you can't find FC3 Monkey Business? Let us know, and we'll sick Sherry on that and make it happen for you, because that's how accommodating we can be. Now, follow us on Twitter. Our handle is FC3MB Podcast, and when you do, say hi, because we love it when you say hi. We're very social creatures, in case you haven't noticed it already. So there we have it.
Hi.
Got through all the business. Hi.
Hi.
And on behalf of Sybil,
Yeah, I was going to say, when did Sybil show up?
Well,
I
we
love
love
that
Sybil.
woman. Love that woman. All right, question of the week. Tony,
Yeah.
are there any movies, books, games, etc. that you enjoy once a year on a particular day, and why?
You didn't realize there was going to be a test today, did you?
Oh my God,
I
homework.
didn't study.
I've had that nightmare.
I still do.
Yes.
Treehouse of Horrors, actually. Simpsons. I
Sim
really
House?
enjoy them around Halloween.
Uh-huh.
I find a nice little nook in the RIT library, put on some headphones, and I'll watch all of them.
Okay.
All of them.
And we're going to be talking about Halloween episodes next week,
Yeah.
so chip in.
Yeah.
Make sure you bring that up next week when we're talking about our favorite Halloween
Because it'll
specials.
drop on Halloween.
Because it's going to drop
Yes.
on Halloween. Ooh. Anyway. That sounded more creepy than scary, did it? Yeah. Okay. Angela, are there any movies, books, games, etc. that you enjoy once a year on a particular day, and
No.
why? No?
No.
Just no.
I'll watch anything or read anything.
You don't go out of your way
anytime.
like on a particular, it's that time of year where I have to watch this thing.
No, just in October I have to watch horror movies.
Okay.
But nothing in particular.
Okay.
And actually this year it's been September and October.
I was going to say, as opposed to other months when you don't watch horror movies.
Well, then I got to try to get in the other movies I got to watch.
True. Very true.
Going to go swinging to the other end of the spectrum here. Billy.
Yes.
Billy.
Yes. In the month of December, I'm a big fan of the Christmas stuff, music and the specials. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Oh God, why did I just blank on the name of it? The one with Heat Miser and Snow. The Year Without
No
a Santa
Santa.
Claus.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple of my favorites. So.
Very nice.
How about you, Ann?
Probably on my birthday every year, me and my mother used to always watch Labyrinth together.
Okay.
So we still do.
Still
well,
do.
I
So
watch it without her because she's gone, but yeah.
Yeah, but you still watch it with her in your own way.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's your thing to remember to spend some time with mom.
Yep.
Love it. How about you, Ton?
I think I'm back in with Angela that there's really nothing that I enjoy once a year on a particular day because I'm like, I'll pretty much watch anything during any time. I'm like, I know my mother-in-law, she's like, "Ooh, it's July, Christmas in July movies." She's like, she couldn't wait type
She'll
thing.
watch anything at any time, so she wants to see the Ed Sullivan Show during the French Revolution.
There you go.
So I think, I'm like, but I think it's all mood dependent, what I'm in the mood for at that particular moment, whether it's comedy or action or thriller or sci-fi. So that's pretty much mood dependent. So, but I do like Christmas movies at Christmas time.
Miss Sherry.
Well, just because of my mom, I have to watch It's a Wonderful Life on Christmas Eve.
I'm sorry.
It's a good movie.
Yeah,
It's
the
my
first 12 times you watch it, and the next 27 are a little off.
It's my mom's favorite movie, so we
Gotcha.
have to watch it. And I have to, at least once during the holiday season with Monk, I have to watch Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
There it is.
Has to be watched.
Because you are the Otter Queen.
Yep. And
Hocus Pocus, Practical Magic.
That's next
that's
week.
your answers.
Yeah.
And we haven't done it in a couple years, but it used to always be on Thanksgiving. We always played Trivial Pursuit after dinner.
Okay.
For like ever. Like for like 15, 20 years. That was the thing that we did.
Okay.
Thanksgiving after dinner.
Gotcha.
Play Trivial Pursuit.
Monk's looking at you like, what?
We haven't done it in a while. We don't play Trivial Pursuit anymore.
It's because you know all the answers already.
Nah.
Monk, how about you? Is there something seasonal?
Always around the Halloween season, Practical Magic and Hocus Pocus are like big ones.
And you're going to be talking about those next week, right?
Yes.
Because you put that on the list. I remember that.
Yes. So and I can tell you, for the past couple of weeks, it's felt like taboo. Mm-hmm. I babysit, and one of the little ones, I'm like, sure, go pick out a movie. She goes and picks out Elf, and I'm like, it's not that season yet.
I can't handle that.
I can't handle Will Ferrell movies
No,
anyway.
That's...
All right.
Stranger Than
How about you,
Fiction.
Chris?
For me, when autumn descends upon us, it's my favorite season of the four. And I love autumn. I love the smells. I love the taste. I love the crisp air. It's not cold. It's just cool.
Your
I
pumpkin spice lattes.
Yeah. Well, no. See, pumpkin spice is not my thing.
It'll be apple cider.
But if I may paraphrase some Dune, he who controls the pumpkin spice controls the white girls. It's just bad. Anyway, but when autumn comes, my Ren Fair mind kicks back in full swing because you go full garb with cloak and everything, and that's adventurers weather, which then tips over my D&D love. So then it becomes full-on adventurers weather. So I have to have a Lord of the Rings marathon. Usually in late September, early October, I will watch, the Peter Jackson trilogy of amazingness just because I have to. It's just
Have you
one of those
done it
things.
yet?
I have not. I've been busy lately.
Well, it
Nobody
really
But
wants
it's
doesn't
to
due.
do it with me.
I was sitting on my couch the other
felt
night.
like fall yet.
Oh, that reminds me. Over the summer,
Yeah, when it was 85 degrees yesterday.
Yeah, when it's the summer months and I'm not doing anything in particular, I'll do an entire playthrough of the Mass Effect trilogy
Okay.
from start to finish.
That's a seasonal thing.
It's takes me a solid 3 days just to get through all 3 games, but it's a lot of fun.
But yes, weather's been kind of bonkers in the Rochester area lately, so it hasn't really
been
felt
really
like full on
fall
fall.
yet.
Today's got it, and from the 16th floor of this studio,
It's clear.
You see it's beautiful, it's sunny. You can see the trees turning. I can see on a clear day you can see forever, kind of thing. And so that need to watch the gang and actually the fellowship it's starting to set in the back of my brain right now.
Middle of October and most of the trees are still green.
I know, isn't that great?
It's weird.
It's a weird thing, but it's great. But yeah, so there's that. Anyway, so that's the news from Lake Wobegon, where all the women are strong, all the men are good looking, and all the children are above average.
We're going to get in trouble.
What's that from?
That's
Prairie Home Companion.
Prairie Home Companion. We are going to get in trouble.
Why are we going to get in trouble? We're paying homage to a great radio show. So, all right. Anyway, that's that.
In the words of Homer Simpson, listening to Prairie Home Companion, be more funny.
Love that show.
I think we're done.
I think we're
Stick a
done for the
fork in
week.
us.
That's it. And this has been Monkey Business, a product of the Mighty Monkey Corporation, purveyors and producers of the Flower City Minicon, coming at you this coming weekend, October 27th, 28th at the Greenchurch Center Mall. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, follow us wherever we go, and we'll lead you to where the entertainment is. We love you, we miss you, we can't wait to see you next week. Have a great one.
I'm not going to remember this weekend.
if only if it's done right.
Do you have class on Monday?
No, well, yes, but no.